Welcome, welcome, your backup plan tribe, to another Friday Walking with Tina. Michael Jackson's estate battle. Who will inherit his millions? Yeah. You've reached Tina over here at Your Backup Plan, and I am a creator and developer of Your Backup Plan app. I'm a best-selling author of In the Blink of an Eye. Just like that. Whoosh. Things happen. Yes. In the blink of an eye, in the snap of your fingers, life changes in a quick second. And if anybody's gone through this, they'll tell you, you're true, Tina. It's true. I'm a financial advisor and, of course, an emergency preparedness coach that puts all of this stuff together for you guys. So welcome, welcome. I'm so excited to get into the show today with Michael Jackson's estate battle. And if you are new here, welcome. Please like, share, and subscribe down here below so that you know when our next shows are coming up. It will automatically notify you. And guys, smash that like button for me because it will allow more people to view these videos, just like you. So welcome to our show today. We are on all podcast platforms, of course, our shows. We are on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Pinterest. And of course, on our podcast, we talk about real life stories with really amazing guests. And our shows are about life-changing events, things that have happened in their life, tragedies, trauma, sickness, accidents. So if you want to listen to us on your drive to work, plug into a podcast, pick one. We have 4 years coming up to our show now of shows every week. And if you want to watch us with your eyes, then stay tuned for what's up next.
Wow. It's here. Finally, your backup plan app. To put your life in one place in preparation of any unpredictable circumstance. Grab it today over on iTunes and Google Play and get your backup plan started. Whether it's organizing your estate plan, your exit plan in a storm, your emergency plan in the blink of an eye moment. It is the best gift you can have at your fingertips for yourself and your loved ones.
You're back. Michael Jackson, let's get this party started. Okay, guys, who will inherit his millions? That's the big question, of course. Michael Jackson, if anybody knows, known as the King of Pop, was a legendary musician, dancer, and, of course, entertainer. Born on August 29th, 1958, he was a Virgo in Gary, Indiana. Jackson began his career as a child in the Jackson 5. Do you remember those times back in the 60s and the 70s watching the family dance and sing? They had their own TV show. Oh my gosh, it was so awesome. Even back then, it was awesome. It was a Motown group consisting of Jackson and his 4 older brothers. He went on to become one of the most successful solo artists in music history, selling over 750 million records worldwide. Jackson's career and, of course, personal life were marked by, of course, controversy, including allegations of child sexual abuse and numerous plastic surgeries. Yeah, I remember all those times of everybody talking about it. And on June 25th, 2009, seems like yesterday, Jackson passed away at the age of 50 from cardiac arrest caused by acute propofol intoxication. His sudden death shocked the world and led to a legal battle, of course, over his estate, which was estimated to be worth over 500 million. You know, I talk about this with celebrities our topics every second week, and I talk about topics that come up in between those weeks. We're talking about bank accounts next week. And I think there's nothing different about any celebrity's problems of estate planning in compared to any of our problems in planning. We we leave it till the end. We want to just think about it forever and procrastinate. And we think we're all Superman and like this. We're Nothing's going to happen, Tina. Nothing. But things will happen. And just like Michael Jackson, something did happen. And he had somewhat organized plan. But because despite his enormous wealth, and sometimes we're talking about $500, and in Michael Jackson's case, $500 million, Jackson did not have a comprehensive estate plan in place at the time of his death. The lack of planning left his family, and of course his business associates, with a complicated and lengthy legal battle over his assets. There's several reasons why Jackson may not have had an estate plan. For one, he was known for being very private and secretive individual, and it is possible that he simply did not want to disclose any information about his finances and his assets. Additionally, Jackson's personal life was marked by controversy also, including allegations of child sexual abuse, and he may have been hesitant to address these issues in his estate planning. Another factor that may have contributed to Jackson's lack of estate planning was his frequent changes in financial advisors and legal representatives. And I believe he also had the same problems with doctors. He was having problems with medications, and he was always changing doctors to who could help him. And so I guess that was part of his life. Jackson had a history of firing and hiring new advisors, which may have led to a lack of continuity to his financial and legal affairs. Jackson's lack of estate planning had significant consequences for his family and his business associates. His will, which was discovered 2 weeks after his death, left his assets to a trust that was established for the benefit of his mother, children, and various charities. However, this trust was not without its own legal battles, as Jackson's siblings and other family members contested the validity of the will and the fought for a share of his assets. I was going to say the fight for a share of his assets, but I guess it's fight, because they're all fighting. The legal battle over Jackson's estate was also complicated by his extensive debt and legal liabilities. Jackson owned millions of dollars in unpaid taxes. Take that back. Jackson owed millions of dollars in unpaid taxes and had numerous legal judgments against him at the time of his death. These financial issues complicated the administration of his estate and led, of course, to additional legal battles and, of course, delays. Delays to uncomplicate the will, uncomplicate the estate plan, uncomplicate problems arising from what's owed, problems arising of what's actually an asset and who does it belong to. Michael Jackson's estate faced several problems and disputes with his family members following his death in 2009. These issues mainly revolved around the management and control of his estate, his disagreements over his will, and concerns regarding the welfare and guardianship of his children, of course. And of course, here are some of the few key problems and family members that were involved. Will and estate disputes were one of the primary problems was the contention surrounding Michael Jackson's will. Initially, his mother, Catherine Jackson, and his 3 children, Prince, Paris, and Blanket, were named as beneficiaries of his estate. However, some family members, including siblings Randy, Jermaine, Rebby, and Janet Jackson, expressed doubts about the validity of the will, alleging that it was forgery. They argued that Michael Jackson was under undue influence when the will was created. And of course, there was executors and control of the estate. Another issue arose concerning the appointment of executors to manage the estate. Initially, attorney John Branca and music executive John McLean were named as co-executors in Michael Jackson's will. However, Randy Jackson and several other family members raised concerns about their management and questioned their decisions regarding the estate's finances and commercial ventures. And some family members, particularly Randy Jackson, accused the estate executors of mismanaging the finances and assets, claiming that they were not acting in the best interest of Michael Jackson's beneficiaries. They questioned the handling of deals and licensing agreements and alleged that the estate was not generating sufficient income for the family. The welfare and the guardianship of Michael Jackson's children were also points of disagreement within the family. Initially, Michael's mother, Catherine Jackson, was appointed as the children's guardian. However, in 2012, a custody dispute was appointed as the children's guardian. However, sorry about that. However, in 2012, a custody dispute arose between Catherine and Tito Jackson's son, TJ Jackson, who sought co-guardianship over the children. Jackson's son, TJ Jackson, was someone that the children knew well. So they felt that it was important to have part of that as part of the guardianship. They cited concerns about Catherine's well-being and ability to properly care for them. One significant issue that contributed to the disputes was the perceived lack of comprehensive estate plan by Michael Jackson. Although he had a will in place after some time of finding it, some family members argued that it did not adequately address certain aspects, such as the management of his intellectual property rights, the long-term financial well-being of his children, and the potential conflicts that would arise within the family. It is speculated that Michael Jackson his failure to have a more detailed and comprehensive estate plan was due to various factors. Firstly, his sudden death may have prevented him from fully addressing all the complexities and intricacies. He had such a complicated life and complicated musician world. So it was a complicated estate. Additionally, his complicated financial situation, ongoing legal battles, and the complexities of his intellectual property rights may have made it challenging to formulate a comprehensive plan that satisfied all the parties involved. And to address these issues, the estate entered into negotiations and legal proceedings to settle the disputes. Ultimately, the court upheld the validity of Michael Jackson's will, confirming The appointment of the executors and the beneficiaries. The estate successfully generated substantial income through various releases, music, merchandise deals, and the sale of assets as well, therefore stabilizing its financial position. Overall, the problems faced by Michael Jackson's estate with his family members stemmed from disagreements over the management, control, and distribution of his assets, as well as concerns regarding the well-being of his children. These disputes highlight the importance of having a thorough estate plan in place, particularly for individuals with complex financial situations and intricate family dynamics. Yeah, don't we know it? There's so much family dynamics happening and drama happen after a death that the people that you would never guess that would be a problem are. And so it blows my mind on how we can fight over a cup and saucer, or just by someone feeling left out. It's incredible how all of this changes the whole dynamics of the person's estate plan. A comprehensive estate plan can help minimize conflicts, provide clarity, and ensure that the wishes of the deceased are carried out effectively. And of course, yes, Michael Jackson did establish a trust as part of his estate plan. And if you're not sure what a trust is, you can click on in the description box below one video on what is a trust and why should you have one. The trust, known as the Michael Jackson's Family Trust, was created to manage and distribute a portion of his estate. The trust was designed to provide for the well-being and financial security of his children, Prince, Paris, and Blanket. The Michael Jackson's Family Trust appointed John Branca and John McLean as co-trustees, who were also named as co-executors of his estate in his will, like what we mentioned above. The trust was intended to hold and manage the assets, including intellectual property rights, royalties, and other valuable properties owned by Michael Jackson. However, complications and disputes did arise surrounding the trust. Some family members, including siblings Randy, Jermaine, Randy, and Rebby and Janet Jackson, expressed concerns about the control and the management of the trust's assets. They questioned the decisions made by the co-trustees, allegedly mismanagement and conflicts of interest. One significant point of contention was the sale of Michael Jackson's stake in Sony ATV Music Publishing, which included the rights to a vast catalog of songs, including many Beatle compositions. The co-trustees, acting in their role as estate executors, negotiated a deal to settle a portion of the catalog to Sony, which generated substantial revenue for the estate. However, some families disagreed. Isn't that always the way? How we have disagreements? They disagreed with this decision, believing that the assets were undervalued and that they should have been consulted or given the opportunity to participate in this deal. These disputes resulted in legal battles and ongoing tensions within the Jackson family. Oh, it must have been terrible. Some family members took legal action to challenge the decisions made by the co-trustees, seeking more control over the trust's assets and financial efforts. However, the court ultimately upheld the validity of the trust and did confirm the authority of the co-trustees to manage and administer the assets. It is important to note that while the trust played a significant role in the management and distribution of a portion of Michael Jackson's estate, the details and specific provisions of the trust have not been made public. Trusts don't have to, as trusts offer more privacy compared to wills, which are public documents. Despite complications and disagreements surrounding the trust, it continues to play a crucial role in protecting and preserving the assets for, of course, the benefit of Michael Jackson's children. The trust is responsible for managing the ongoing commercial success of Michael Jackson's estate, including licensing deals, album releases, and other business ventures. Overall, the establishment of the trust as part of Michael Jackson's estate plan was intended to ensure the long-term financial security and well-being for his children. However, disputes and complications arose regarding the control and management of the trust's assets, leading to legal battles and ongoing tensions within the family. Yep. Michael Jackson's death and lack of estate planning led to a complicated and lengthy legal battle over his assets. And despite his enormous wealth and success, Michael Jackson did not have a comprehensive estate plan in place at the time of his death, which left his family and business associates with a complicated and lengthy battle over his estates. His lack of estate planning may have been due to his private and secretive nature, as we mentioned, and his frequent changes in advisors and legal representatives, and his personal and financial controversies. This case highlights the importance, of course, that's why I do these videos, the importance of estate planning for individuals, regardless of their level of wealth or fame, to ensure that their assets are distributed according to their wishes and to minimize the legal and financial burden on their loved ones. Michael Jackson created a will and a trust before his death, but he did not put anything into the trust. This decision may have been somewhat strange at first, but it could be explained by examining the circumstances surrounding the kind of estate planning that he had. One reason why Michael Jackson did create a will and a trust to ensure that his assets would be distributed according to his wishes after his death, he had a very complex financial situation with numerous business ventures and intellectual property rights to his name. By creating a will and a trust, he could then designate who would inherit his assets and how would they be managed after. However, Jackson did not fund the trust during his lifetime. This means that the assets he intended to transfer to the trust remained in his personal ownership, rather than being placed into the trust for management and distribution. We've talked about the several reasons why he may have made these decisions, but I think Michael Jackson was simply overwhelmed by the complexity of his estate planning needs. And he had a wide range of assets to manage, and he may not have fully understood the process of transferring those from his personal assets to then the trust assets. And it is possible that he intended to take care of it at a later date. But it's difficult to say that why Jackson chose not to fund this trust during his lifetime. Who knows? However, it's clear that his estate planning was incomplete at the time of his death, which led to significant legal battles and controversy over the distribution of his assets. This serves as a reminder of course, of the importance of thorough estate planning and regularly updating your own plans to ensure that they accurately reflect your wishes. After Michael Jackson's death, his estate became the subject of numerous complications and feuds. One of the primary sources of conflict was the fact that he did not fully fund the trust, as we mentioned, at the time of his passing. This meant that his assets had to go through probate and have a lengthy and costly legal process that could take years to resolve. Another source of conflict was the sheer size of his estate, which was valued over $2 billion. This led to disputes over the distribution of his assets, as well as questions over the validity of his will and the role of any of his appointed executors. So there's something, I think, to say about the $500 million asset versus the $2 billion. Maybe that changed over some of the licensing sales that happened. One of the most notable feuds was between Jackson's family members and his estate executors, John Branca and John McClain. Jackson's siblings, particularly his brother Randy, accused the executors of mismanaging it. In addition to the family feuds, there was also legal battles over the ownership of Jackson's music catalog and his intellectual property. This, of course, included a lawsuit brought by music producer Quincy Jones, who claimed that he was owed millions of dollars in royalties for his work on Jackson's albums. It's funny how everybody comes out of the woodwork, isn't it? Overall, the complications and feuds that occurred after Jackson's death highlighted the importance of thorough and estate planning and clear communications with one's family and appointed executors. I talk about having family conversations, having them in a group. We do them on our Facebook group. Check out the link here above if you're interested in joining our Facebook group, Your Backup Plan Ambassadors VIP, where it's a great community of people asking questions, answering questions for people in the community group, or just asking questions to finally find out what they could do in their aunt's death or brother's death, as well as their own. And it's very interesting how we have workshops on having family conversations and how to have fun doing that. Jackson's estate became embroiled in legal battles that took years to resolve and resulted in significant financial and emotional costs. He did establish this trust, but of course, as we talked about, he didn't put anything in it. And the trust was supposed to be there to have, less probate. It was going to be secretive. No one would have known what happened inside of the trust. And it's confidential, unlike wills, which are public documents, and as a result, the specific provisions and assets that are held within the trusts are not readily accessible to the public. Only the trustees, beneficiaries, and those directly involved in the trust administration have knowledge of the contents. While the exact details of the assets placed in the trust are not publicly known, it is generally understood that Michael Jackson's estate, including his music catalog, has been managed and monetized by the co-trustees, John Branca and John McClain, for the benefit of the beneficiaries, primarily his children. Therefore, through the specifics of his trust and its asset holdings are not widely disclosed, it can be inferred that the trust had been active and involved in the management and distribution of Michael Jackson's estate. The trust plays a significant role in protecting and preserving his assets and ensuring the long-term financial well-being, of course, for his trustees. I cannot believe what a mess this was. I'm going to leave up here, right here. We're going to put down, how long did this mess last? How long do you think? Anybody want to comment down below? And if you want to join our Facebook group, head on over to it. It's linked down below in our description box. As well as if you want to watch the previous trust video is also linked down below in the description box. So head on over there and check it out. I was so happy to have you guys on here and talking about Michael Jackson's Celebrity Estate Feud. Of course, that's what we talk about every second week. And I can't believe how it just lets you know that while you may not have your own stuff together, you can see how celebrities fall into that same problem. But don't let anything stop you from completing a will. And let me tell you, if you want some help doing that, make sure you click on the link down below in the description box below that will give you reference to a lot of different lawyers, whether you want to create a trust or talk about a trust, or whether it suits you or if it's for you, or if you want to talk about a will and a power of it is what some places call it. Click in the description box below. It will all be there for you guys. It's a toll-free number that you can contact anywhere in the United States and in Canada for any legal work that you wish to have done, whether you want to create a trust or ask questions about your estate plan or ask questions about someone else's estate plan. Maybe you're dealing with somebody else's aunt, sister, brother, friend that needs your help and you're not sure where to go. Click on the description down below. We've got it all there for you. You can set up your own trust, you can set up your own will, and of course, power of attorney and your medical directive. So thank you so much for coming out to our show today. I hope that has given you some insight on it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter what color of hair you have, it doesn't matter if you're fame or celebrity status, or if you have any money in the bank, or if you do, it's all there. We've explained so much to you to get your stuff together. And if you want some help with that, check out our link down below for your backup plan app. I'm so happy to have you guys here today. And I'm so happy to bring you this video today. So thank you. Stay safe and be kind. Till next week. See you then. Bye.